What's up, everybody? It's Wraith with Metal Truthers. I'm here again tonight with Brandon. Unfortunately, Chris is MIA again, so we're not sure. We may just be doing this two-man broadcast for a while until people are more prepared to join in. Not sure. But anyway, tonight it's me and Brandon, so take it away, man.
Alright, man. Something I wanted to go over was Jade Helm. I've seen pictures that people's posted online, and as far as what I've studied, it's turned out to be true. But I've seen, like, police-guided convoys of Walmart trucks going into California and Texas, miles long. Um, I've also seen some photos of military personnel in civilian clothing driving like tanks and stuff. Not literally driving tanks, but carrying them on transport vehicles.
Yeah, actually, my uncle had told me that about a week or two ago, while him and his girlfriend were coming back from Austin here in Texas, that he saw a whole convoy pulled over on the side of the road, and they were, yeah, I guess they were discussing where they were going or whatever, but all these guys were just in civilian clothing, like, cut off T-shirts or tank tops and backwards caps and sunglasses. They just looked like everybody's.
So there's
So
really no difference between, or no visual difference between them and you and me.
which, if we're going to talk about Jade Helm, there's several different theories, which is what we're going to cover tonight. I mean, there's an AI theory to Jade Helm. A lot of people believe that this is the introduction of the J2 program, which is a real program. You can go look up the documentation about it. It's an AI. It was tested in Iraq. It's a self-aware AI program. I mean, it's dangerous. It's pretty much, what Terminator, it sounds dumb, people, but Terminator kind of warned you about this. In fact, you can look it up. This is no bullshit. It's too, fucking crazy to make up this kind of shit, but the company that created Skynet and Terminator is a real company that is really in charge of robotics. I mean, they are a real company. And I wouldn't be surprised if you looked into the funding behind J2 and some of its operations. That company is right there involved in it.
Now, see, I haven't heard about the whole Terminator thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually go look it up, man. One of my friends enlightened me to it, and I watched a couple of videos on it where the company that I forgot what it is, like Dynacorp or TyneCorp or whatever it is, they're a real company.
All right,
So,
after
I mean,
we
that's one aspect to it. I mean, also with the J2, me and you have discussed that before. I mean, the documentation for that program's out there, and even if Terminator and that company didn't exist and there isn't that tie that makes you think that maybe Terminator's been programming people all these years for, a machine-style revolution or a cybernetic revolution, you have to look at the fact that they do have a quantum thinking AI program out there that, I mean, all the thoughts me and you are having collectively right now, this thing had them over 2 seconds ago along with 25 million other thoughts.
right, yeah, after we finish the show tonight, I think I'll go over and do some research, and I'll post some links to some of this stuff on our Facebook page tonight.
Definitely, I went over the video last night, and again, people, like I said, like we disclosed last night, sometimes you will hear language on this program, and once again, we will say that these are just opinions based off of articles we've read, people we've talked to, and videos we've listened to over time, collective years of research, I mean, I don't necessarily have any articles right in front of me, like at this very moment. This is just talk based off of information we already have. I personally don't have a computer at the moment, so it's been very hard for me to find good articles given the technology that I'm using right now.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, I mean, I get most of my information, watching different videos from many different people so I can get many different angles on what's going on, because it's a lot easier for me to click on the YouTube and try to filter through all the websites, because half the time when I'm trying to track down an article, there's 150 fake websites with bullshit articles before you find the real article,
Yeah, you have to dig so much to get to it.
Exactly, whereas I can listen to people that have been studying this stuff since before I was born and are far more knowledgeable. And then not only do I hear the reports, but I also hear a breakdown of it in a sense that, like, I didn't even have a clue about. Like, when we were talking a little bit yesterday in the introduction about Admiralty law, I just found out about this a couple of days ago. I mean, this is stuff that, like, I'm still in the process of waking up, so by no means am I going to be as knowledgeable as other people.
Right. Which, of course not. I mean, there's infinite amounts of knowledge out there to, just waiting to be learned. But the problem is getting to the truth of it all. The government, media, and all that tries so hard to cover it up that, I mean, you could literally dig for hours or even days, if not longer than that, and, never find a true article on a certain subject.
Well, it's not just covering it up either. At the same time, they put out a lot of disinformation, so it's not necessarily a cover-up. It's a complete steering in the opposite direction.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got stuff like fear hype and all that.
I mean, like, we've had a discussion about Alex Jones before, and one of my theories on him, and like I said, I'm never going to attack InfoWars and say that they're not, because they were a big part of how, like, me waking up in the beginning,
Yeah.
Like, I used to watch InfoWars every day, but then, I mean, to put it lightly, I got tired of watching this little angry guy that sat there and yelled and was full of fear, and every day you hear, oh, they're going to bomb us, they're going to attack us, and, like, you're not really helping the situation. You're just typing a bunch of fear within the populace that's in the alternative media. If I wanted a bunch of fear, I'd go watch the mainstream media.
Yeah, for real. You gotta kind of respect Alex Jones, though, because, I mean, he does at least help spread the information, though.
Oh, I respect him on the aspect that he gets the information out there. Like I said, though, I just don't like the whole fear aspect of it. I mean, yes, we're all angry, we're all frustrated, but, you don't hear us two on here, like, throwing a tantrum about it, basically, and, like, I think it's more for shock value. I think it's an attention thing. Like I said, I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just saying that's one reason I've stopped listening to InfoWars, because I just got tired of dealing with the whole fear hype,
Right.
I mean, if we're going to do stuff like this, we need to be open to all kinds of things, and,
yeah, we need to be open.
Yeah, part of that is not being fearful or angry about the things we're discovering, I mean, yes, it can be frustrating and it can bother us to the core of who we are, what we find out along the way, but you know what I mean? At the same time, it's not something we can let control our actions.
Right. But back to the whole Jade Helm thing, my personal opinion, just from doing research and looking into everything, I don't think it's an imposition to martial law. I don't think they're going to use it to, declare and enforce martial law. But I do think it is practice for when they do. I do. I'm not gonna say that it's absolutely dead set going to happen, but I do see Obama declaring martial law. Getting a false flag operation in full force to create a.
I mean, we've had several since Jade Helm has kicked off. I mean, right before, or if not right during the beginning of Jade Helm, because, the technical kickoff day was July 4th as far as they say, but, was July 15th was the official date, but, you talk to many active military, and they say that it started on July 4th, and then there's people that say that they've been prepping for it and moving it along since even before then. So, I mean, looking at that aspect of it, that means that this has been going on for many, many years undetected. And they've been setting up, they've been infiltrating, because, like, the whole thing is they're trying to infiltrate militia groups, constitutional groups, anybody that's thinking against the grind of what they've set up right now. Yes, they are looking into us, and they're infiltrating all of our groups now. I think a big part of this is the solidification of knowing how many of their troops have been turned against their cause and how many are going to continue to support the cause in full effect. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're trying to find out which of their special forces are actually going to infiltrate and open fire on civilians. And, I mean, that's part of the plan. They've already told you that. Eventually they will have troops that are designated. And, I mean, big part of Jade Helm that a lot of people have overlooked is this isn't just our troops. There's a lot of foreign troops on American soil right now that they haven't really given us a definitive explanation for why they're all here. Why are there UN trucks on our highways, you know?
Speaking of which, I have personally seen UN helicopters flying over, my house since, I think the first one I really paid attention to was back in 2012 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
I was outside playing with my daughter, and I heard a helicopter going overhead, and I looked up, and lo and behold, there was a powder blue helicopter with a big white UN painted on it. I mean, it was flying low enough, I probably could have threw a rock and hit it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of interesting aircraft in the air, and I mean, I've seen interesting people. I mean, being in Texas, being that this is such a large military state, I have had the opportunity to speak with people that are, from other countries that are here training right now, training as part of UN development. And, I mean, it just doesn't make sense when you get in the long run. Where did all these people, why are they here? I mean, there's no reason for them to be here. We don't have any major catastrophe happening right now that would require all the amount of soldiers there are. That's the suspicious part.
Yeah.
We've always been training soldiers. I mean, hell, it wouldn't half of the shit that goes on overseas wouldn't happen if we weren't constantly training other people's soldiers. But the reality is like usually there's a definitive reason. There's a certain drill that the mainstream media has put out there, but as far as we know with Jade Helm, the mainstream media says, or did say, they're not allowed to say. With the special forces.
Yeah, they've basically been on a media blackout over Jade Helm.
It's there's not reports on it other than a few articles about blackouts in states that it's happening.
Right. Yeah, the shit is definitely something to keep an eye on. Like you said, there's foreign troops training on U.S. soil, which is something, to my knowledge, has never happened before.
Yeah, well, it's happened before, but never in this large of a category. You know what I mean? Like, there's never been this large of a drill going on.
Okay. Jade Helm.
I mean, it's very, very confusing when you look into it and you find out that these kind of drills have gone on for a long time. So, yes, this could just be another one of these drills that have been going on for many, many years now. But at the same time, something just feels different about this drill. There's a lot more secrecy surrounding it. It's also being dealt with at a time when America's on edge, when the world is on edge, Russia's threatening war,
Yeah.
it all falls into line at a point in time, and then it's supposed to end September 23rd, which is a date that